Sorry, yeah. Stuck in my head. Now everybody's got it stuck in their head, don't they?
That is the music that goes with vertex jockeying in 3D animation.
Hey, someone is really, really scraping their microphone.
Might have been me typing.
I heard a beep beep. Weird. Okay, but I think we should be all set then, unless anybody has objections.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, so Joe, let me know when you started the recording.
Go.
All right, welcome to Dark Heresy, Felonies of Faith, session number 17? Sorry?
19.
19, Christ. Okay, so last time we played was 2 weeks ago, on the 28th, I believe. And let's see what took place there. We were already on the planet. We had... Right, everybody was in the debriefing room, and Sergeant Grace Steyer had just been escorted out of the room by her friend Dyla Deadeye Dally. She's a specialist, a sniper, and Kieran went off and listened to the two have a private conversation, and then came back to the party. And or did she continue to snoop around first?
I continued to snoop around.
Okay, so she continued to snoop around. Well, Deadeye came back to the group, and I can't remember everything that was discussed with Deadeye and the rest of the party. But you started to strategize, and you asked Deadeye to be your eyes and ears out in the field, right?
Yes, something like that.
Well, right. Not so much asked, so much as commanded her to. And it looks like Jess is playing as a core knight tonight.
Great. She's going to go skulls and all that stuff.
Yes, that is bad. Especially since one of your characters is a psyker. That's more appropriate, at least. Now, let me see. Thank you. Lynn basically took charge with some battle strategies. Or no, actually, Lynn hasn't taken charge quite yet. The three of you, more than three of you, started to strategize. You took a look at the map, and you were establishing... Oh, that's a lot of noise again. All right, sorry. So you had begun to strategize, looking at the map, deciding where to attempt to reach, where the enemies are expected. You know what? Can you guys use the template tool at all?
Template?
Was that grayed out for you?
I think I can. Let me try.
Okay, so if you guys want, feel free to use the template layer to draw out your strategies and whatnot. That way, you know, you'll have a dedicated layer for you to plan on.
Can people other than us see the templates or not? Or
yeah, I can see a great big circle and line over near your token scout.
Okay, I don't know how to get rid of them.
Go to edit, and there should be an undo button. Yes, well, as long as you're using the tool, I can control layers on my end, so feel free to, you know, use different colors to signify different things when you're making battle plans. And that way, we won't forget over the course of a week. The templates aren't good enough for you?
Well, there is the drawing tool.
The drawing tool seems like it would be...
Yeah, except if you use the drawing tool, then it interferes with my drawing and my tokens.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not using templates, you guys can make use of templates without having to worry about that.
No, I don't want to make templates.
Right. Well, so there was the strategies being planned. Tyrion was listening in, and she heard some of the PDF troops complaining about Imperial Guard Commissar, who, according to them, had killed 750 soldiers with executions. I think at that point, Tyrion returned to the rest of the party and informed them. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. At which point, I believe Lynn promptly marched outside and found the commissar conducting a wave of executions. She stripped him down, metaphorically speaking, and kind of humiliated him, but he was a stalwart individual and did not crack underneath her barrage. And she even let him finish the current wave of executions, although one of his Imperial Guard troops that was conducting the firing range, or sorry, is it firing range? No. Firing squad. One of the members of the firing squad did not participate in the shooting. And when he confronted this soldier, Lynn stepped in to basically save that soldier's life. And the name of that soldier was... I appear to have lost my... so that's probably what I lost when my computer started. Yeah, rebooted on its own. Frustration. Someone's typed seriously, it sounds like.
Sorry.
40K. Shoot. Sorry about the delay. I'm trying to find my file that hopefully I didn't lose entirely.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I can't find it. It's on the USB key that's broken, so I have to go over to my backups that are on my laptop now and transfer it. Hell, I'll just open it on the laptop and look at it from here. Plans.
Hooray for laptops.
Private Justin Grem, 435-5003. And so his life has been spared thanks to a very angry Lynn. Lynn then had the commissar step into his office, and she grilled him a bit more, where he further explained the present situation, stating that lovely Sergeant Grace Steyer you all met earlier had been promoted to field commander and is technically the one in charge of all the strategies presently, although he quite frankly expressed no great confidence in her ability. While that was taking place, Alexandra convinced the Immunitorium, I think I changed what I was calling him, but I can't remember what I call it, but that word was. Something like adjunct, I think.
Quasitor.
Yeah, no, I was deciding to use a more easy to say word. So adjunct. And she asked him for all the reports of the commissar's executions. And after seeing the rosette, he complied and headed inside to go get those documents. Lynn left, leaving Vern to stress to the commissar just how important her words were. Vern, being Mr. Intimidating, did an excellent job of shaking the commissar, figuratively speaking. And Lynn started to march up. I'm not sure if she was going to go see Grace Steyer or if she was going to go see Commander Philip Bryce again. And that's what the Machiasen crew was doing. And then we went over to Inquisitor Vidar, Camilla von Epstein, Vindra Violetta, Corin Vidicus, and of course, Ariane Duran. Duran or Duran?
Duran.
Duran?
Yeah.
Okay. And they were conducting an investigation in the Lister Block hive structure. And Vidar had interrogated someone earlier, and both he and Ariane were quite certain that this guy was telling the truth about where to find a group of heretics that Vidar had been chasing. And basically it led into a dead end, and you were promptly ambushed by that guy who you had left handcuffed to a chair and some of his friends, including a woman with very little emotion in power armor, a couple of psychos.
Thanks, Dad.
Sorry, what?
My bad. I didn't realize I unmuted my mic.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of funny, though, because it just sounded like you were saying thanks, Dad, out of nowhere.
Okay.
I don't know. Continue.
I think she might have actually said that.
No, she did say that.
Okay. Right. The brute, 2 psychos, 5 snipers. That I found was perhaps a little bit of overkill, but at least it killed all the NPCs. I mean, what? And what I call them? Ghasts? Haunters. I called them haunters, who seemed more interested in eating corpses than actually fighting. But, you know, when Carmilla pissed them off, they decided to attack her. And I could have sworn there was at least one more type of enemy. But long story short, Carmilla, Vindra, and Corin, they're all dead. Mostly getting eaten. Vidar and... I thought I mentioned the brute first. In power armor.
Yeah, the brute got headshotted.
Yes, not just headshotted, had exploded by a bolt pistol being handled by Ariane. But the last thing Ariane will remember is a weird hole kind of existing in the air in front of her, and Vidar grabbing her. Well. Sorry, what?
And she does remember it well.
Yes, but from that point, no recollection. And yes, her bolt pistol was on the ground the last she saw of it, and she wasn't able to grab it as Vidar picked her up and pulled her somewhere. So, no, I think that is where we left off. So, who wanted the, what's the word, the podium? All right, so Jess does not want to be the first to take the lead here. Vern, Haley, Alex, Tyrion, or is she still AFK? I'm guessing she's still AFK. Okay.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So, who's taking the podium then?
say we start off in the Commissar's office, and we get to the point where the Ministorum guy comes in with his records.
Okay. So, sorry, what was that?
I'm okay with this. I kind of hogged the end of the last session, so I'll take a break from my character for a little while.
Well, no. We'll get to your character shortly. It's just
Okay.
it's just going to be one thing before that. So it's going to be. Is everybody else still in the Commissar's office, or have you guys ventured out?
I was
Vern
never
will
there.
be there.
Yeah, sorry. So between Vern and Haley.
I'd still be there.
Okay. So Alex will return. The Mentorium adjunct will present himself to the Commissar, stating, "Sir, will Alexander come in as well?"
As soon as he went off to get the papers, I went back to the Commissar's room. So it just been.
That's where he was going, to the Commissar's office.
Oh, well, then I'll probably get there right behind him then.
Okay. And
I just picture him at the top of a filing cabinet using like a gargoyle.
That would be something.
yeah, especially since that filing cabinet would be crushed under the weight of all his weapons. But the Mentorium adjunct will come into the Commissar's office and say, "Excuse me, my lord, but Alexander would be right behind him, right?"
I guess I would be right behind him.
Okay. This fine lady is a member, and the Commissar will just raise his hand and say, "Yes, I know they're part of the Inquisition. What has been asked of you?" "Oh, well, sir, she requested all records of your conduct while on the base." Commissar will square his shoulders and raise his head up high and proudly and say, "Very well, ma'am. Make it so. Who wants to give a name to our adjunct?"
Steve.
I was going to go with Bob.
Fine. Stephen Robertson.
Okay. I can accept that.
You say, "Very well, Robertson. See to it that she receives all appropriate documentation." Very good, sir. And the adjunct will begin rooting through filing cabinets and pulling out lots and lots of paperwork.
Someone's been a busy boy.
Is anybody going to, are you all just standing in silence in the room right now, or is there anything else going on?
Vern will stay.
Haley?
Stay quiet for a moment.
And Alex?
Alex is just going to be waiting there, waiting for the paperwork to get to her place, and then she's going to look over it.
Okay, well, is she going to start reviewing it as the adjunct is pulling it out, or wait till it's done?
She's just going to get a... I guess she would just probably start on it as soon as she gets her first paper, just so she can get an early idea.
Give me a literacy roll.
Literacy roll. What is her?
Based on intelligence. I don't believe you have any special training in it.
Intelligence 38. Nope, just basic literacy. Okay. Hey! DC was 38.
You can flip through the documents pretty quickly and see that pretty much all of these are documentation of crimes committed and punishment carried out. And for the vast majority, you're seeing the word executed show up an awful lot. And you also get basically the stats of the various soldiers. Pretty much 95%, give or take, of these executions have been PDFs. Very, very few of the executions have been Imperial Guard troops. Then again, most of the Imperial Guard troops are no longer alive or part of the Imperial Guard in this particular war zone.
Is she getting like a rough tally of exactly, at least through the papers she's read through, of how many have been executed?
Give me a logic roll with, I'd say, plus 30 for the, plus 20 for the simpleness of this.
I see, plus 30. What is my current logic? None trained.
So basic, that would be half your intelligence plus 20.
So that would be 19 plus that. Okay.
So
39 is the answer.
Yeah.
It's more than you care to think about at this point. Just by the fact that the adjunct just keeps pulling out folders.
Ooh, that's in that noise is in character too.
Vern or Haley, do you comment?
What is it?
So,
rough
show me
guess,
those papers.
I'm gonna just hand over the papers to both of them. Rough guess, we don't have a lot to work with.
What do we roll? Logic? Reading?
Yeah. Well, I'd assume that Alexandra could basically just point out what she's already read, so just give me your logic rolls. And plus 20. That includes you, Haley.
I'm not sure if that makes it.
Okay, Haley, as I am
Vern's
right
not
now.
too good. And what the? Yeah, you're going to use a fate?
Not for that.
Let me see.
Not like Haley doesn't have it to lose.
Or if you have 4 hate points, you have enough to use.
Hate points?
Well, one of them was taken by hate.
Sorry, Joseph, were you going to re-roll or not?
No, not for something like
No?
this.
Okay, well, Haley's going to misinterpret it and wonder just if there's any soldiers left alive at all at this point.
She looks out the window, there's just a whole bunch of dead people all of a sudden.
Vern won't reroll either. Even I missed the roll by 4.
But at the moment, no other comments or anything out of the peanut gallery here?
Nothing else except Vern going like, yeah, just okay.
All right, I'm going to roll Talia's logic here. Yeah, she's not. Oh, no, actually. Oh, her stats actually. Hers are good enough, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Even with that horrible roll. And she'll say, I estimate between 700 and 750. She'll look over to the commissar, and the commissar says, yes, that would be the approximate amount that had been executed. Let me just, I'm just going to quickly roll something here. Ooh. Vern is oblivious. And Haley. Okay, I'll just say it out loud because both Haley and Alexandra noticed. Talia is shaking with possibly rage, possibly sorrow, but when the commissar confirmed 700 to 750 soldiers executed, she's none too happy.
Neither was Alex, and she's just going to, in character comment, Lynn is not going to like this.
anything out of Haley, Joe?
I'll be right back. I gotta take some fucking aspirin.
Oh, okay.
I'm like one of the few people that is physically well. Woot!
Ha.
Okay, well,
You wish,
plus,
Bobo.
on the plus side, Talia at least doesn't freak out. That was her willpower roll there, that 33.
Mm.
As soon as Joe gets back, I'm going to make an announcement. Jed, everybody's got a microbead, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I?
It would make sense for you to have one. If you do not want to have one, you can declare that.
She probably has one. Whether or not she listens to what comes through depends on what comes through.
Interesting image there, Jess. I think you should send that to Fungi. Actually, you know what? Actually, can he even look at things on his cell phone?
I can look at things through my cell phone.
And what are you going to do about that? Blow up your own ships?
We'll save it. I'm sure. Okay.
I think Joe must be having a serious headache.
Guess so.
Anybody hear from him? Oh. Any idea from what? Or
What's coming this spring? It could just be an allergy attack.
yeah, we had quite a thaw here the last couple days.
So
Well,
did I.
To be fair, we had a thaw, then an immediate freeze, and then a thaw again.
We had a 50.
It went from 14 degrees to negative 17, then up to, I think, 13 today.
Oh, we didn't quite get that bad. We got 50 degrees Fahrenheit to like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, back up to like the 40s.
Not for me. My area has just been like mid 60s to low 70s for like the past 3 weeks. So all the plants are starting to release their pollen in my area. We have an extremely mild winter in my area.
Shut your face. For like a 3-month period, 90% of the days were below 0. I don't want to hear it.
I don't like that.
None of them
like-
are 10s.
I don't like any of that in general.
Shelby being a new, or sorry, is that the new Shelby token?
That seems to be Orinth. And I have no idea who Orinth is.
No, just a sudden person just coming, do you want to play a game and rolling a whole bunch of psychic rolls is not very comforting.
Jess, is that who I think it is?
Is Jill back there? I thought I heard Jill. Sad day. What happens if we feed him all the bacon very slowly?
We still end up dying.
Good point.
Because we'll
Maybe
die
we'll
from
die
old
of
age.
old age. Yes, there we go. That'll be the secret to success.
We give him just half an inch of bacon every time we give him bacon.
Gubbins Crusher. Smashy McGubbins Crusher.
What happens if we tell him that the orcs stole all the bacon?
Can we try to stay on task, please?
Sorry, what was that?
Can we try to stay on task?
Well,
Sorry.
we're waiting for Joe.
Oh, we're waiting for Joe? Never mind.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
All right, well, we'll give Joe 10 more minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to say Haley sneaks off to do something solo.
Just as she goes off to pray for all those souls that would pointlessly lost.
That sounds appropriate.
I was gonna say
there he is. Okay.
we were
You
about
feeling
to
better,
send.
Joe?
It's gonna take some time to kick in, but hopefully it'll help.
Yeah, sorry. I do hope you feel better soon.
Yes, I've just been out of it all day.
Weren't able to get any sleep?
I tried.
All right. Well, are you ready to get back to game, or do you need time? Or
Oh, you can keep going.
okay. So I was asking, did Haley want to remark at all when Talia was trembling and shaking and getting teary-eyed?
She'll step over beside her. You need to step out for a minute?
She'll nod her head and proceed to the hallway. Will you escort her or just let her go? Okay, so Haley's with Talia right now. Before anything else can actually happen, so before Lynn or Kieran can get to either of their destinations, the Vox bead will crackle. And you'll hear Deadeye. And she'll say, come in, people who I'm not going to say your names of over the line because I don't know how secure it is. Come in. Do you read me?
I hear ya.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we read you.
Yeah, okay. I saw a flash. I thought maybe it was a flashbang. So I started to investigate, and I got an unconscious, I think she's Adeptus Sortis. She's got that little, does she actually have the fleur-de-lis tattoo on her face like the icon shows? Scout.
Microphone. There's my microphone mute button. Yes, she does have the fleur-de-lis on her left cheek.
Okay, great. So yeah, Dialog will report that she's found such a person wearing some nifty armor, and she wonders if she's a member of your group.
That doesn't sound like anybody with us.
What's your location?
I'm about 3 clicks to the east. She wouldn't make that mistake. That was me making that mistake as the GM. Let me do a roll to see. I
Is she on the map?
she's alive. Actually, you know what? I think Deadeye has fate. So, do you guys? Yeah, fate that. Should be that. Oh my god, fuck. Well, that was a wasted fate for NPC. She's like, I don't know for sure. I could make her dead if you want me to. You know, make sure.
No, we wish to speak with her.
So, you guys want to come out here? Or do you want me to drag her ass back?
Well,
Okay. I can get out there pretty quick and bring her back pretty quick if you guys want.
Well,
You hear
do
nothing
so.
from Tyrion this whole time. She's choosing to ignore it.
I think you would be much faster retrieving her than I would.
Okay. I'll be back as quick as I can. You guys can continue to go over this paperwork.
Yes.
This is Deadeye going to calm silence, just to keep the location secure until you arrive.
Okay. You'll probably hear me coming.
So I'm just going to see what your narrative speed would be there, Bob. Just a second. Characteristics, narrative speed per minute. So, oh my goodness. It'll only take you about 10 minutes to get there.
Whee! Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
Oh, that's okay. Actually, it'll take a little bit longer because the engine can't keep going for a full 10 minutes without a rest. So it'll probably take you more like 15 minutes.
Anti-air batteries activated. Hydras.
Well, I don't imagine she'd be flying that high, would she?
No, I'd just be jumping through the buildings pretty much, trying to go like, I know there's aircraft batteries, so I won't be going like, hey, what's that speck in there? I don't know, let's just fire at it.
Give me a 3 pilot test.
Okay.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Next to a wall.
All right, let me take a double look just to make sure that a 68 won't be a wall crash. Pilot jump pack is, that's actually, well, you're not engaged in any strenuous combat or anything, so I'll let it slide for now. You'll just be a little bit sluggish, a little bit longer than you planned. Okay. So while that's taking place, we've got 20 minutes for Tyrion and Lynn. So Tyrion, where were you heading?
Grace.
Okay.
So I can go get to her.
Sure. So the barracks are still presently cleared out. Nobody's bothered to venture back in after Deadeye kicked them all out.
I'm gonna go up to Grace's bed.
Give me an awareness roll. No, actually, no. Give me a scrutiny roll.
Oops. I suppose it would help to roll. Oh,
She seems to be resting soundly-ish, maybe.
well, she's got important information that I need to get out of her. So I'm going to go up to her bed and I'm going to sit at the foot of it.
And that's it? You're just sitting there?
No, I'm going to try to wake her up without startling her.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, so you don't, did you have a specific method in mind, or did you just want to roll, let's say, a charm to try and do it?
Trying to think. What's the least startling way? I don't have anything in particular in mind.
So then just go ahead and roll a charm.
I doubt she has her boots on in bed. I could be wrong. I think I missed.
No, actually, I think you're okay with that because your fellowship your
is
charm
44.
Is basic, and your charm is basic, or not basic. Sorry, just trained. Right. Well, in that case, let
God
me
dang it.
roll.
Oh,
She's a bit startled as she wakes up. She flails her arms around a bit defensively and pins her back against the wall until her vision, clears up. And she's like, "Oh, you're one of them, right? How long? Sorry, what? What do you mean?"
I was just gonna say that she nods to the "you're one of them" question.
Mm-hmm. And she asks, "What do you need?"
I need to know what's going on with you. You had a mental breakdown when we questioned you earlier.
I'm really, really tired. I haven't slept in days.
I understand that, but any information you can give us now will let you sleep. We're here to help you. I want to help you. If there's something going on, if you know information about the renegade captain, I would like to know it.
Okay.
Can I try?
You would need inquiry.
Boom!
She looks around the room. She says, "Are we alone?"
Can I make an awareness check to make sure?
Absolutely. You're fairly certain, unless there's somebody who's very, very stealthy, with some means of hiding themselves. And give me a charm roll as well. Very nice. Okay. When she asks, "Are we alone?" would Tyrion make sure her microbead doesn't pick up the conversation, or is Tyrion gonna let her microbead let the rest of the team hear what's going on?
She's going, to the best of her abilities, make sure that the microbead is not going to pick it up.
Okay, Tyrion's being sneaky.
She's done enough backstabbing people that she's going to make sure not to backstab any more people. Cough, cough, Haley, cough, cough.
All right, sorry, I'm just typing out the message in private, because if you're not sharing it with the rest of the part, or if Tyrion's not sharing it with the rest of the party, then you as a player aren't currently sharing it to the other players. All right, did you get my message?
Not yet.
Send me a message in our private window. It'll refresh it.
Aha. I'm gonna send you a message back.
Okay, good stuff. And once again, sorry to all the players for having to do it all sneaky-like, but 'tis the nature of Dark Heresy.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
I think at this point, pretty much all of you have had secret, private moments with me. And Chia Pet attacks.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what? Send me.
Okay, give me another roll, please, Brooke, for inquiry again.
Oh, I'm gonna fate that.
Okay. Well,
No. curses.
Hey, at least you haven't been rolling any doubles.
Shh! You just cursed me words. Shut your face.
Suddenly 99, 99, 99, 66, 66, 99.
My two favorite chaos gods. And by favorite, I mean not favorite.
By favorite, mean you need a restraining order.
I replied, Brooke.
I saw.
And actually, you know what? While we're doing this, we may as well also proceed with Jess and Philip Bryce, because was she heading, or sorry, Lynn was going to her too, right? Okay, well then it'll just be a couple more back and forth between Brooke and I, and then Lynn will be able to barge in. And does Tyrion actually mean what she's saying when she says that?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Okay. Such a naive young girl.
So much easier to manipulate and deceive.
Let's see here.
She doesn't know how this whole battle thing works. This wouldn't be her choice of environment. if she had a choice.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Your character has Forbidden Lore Heresy and Forbidden Lore...
Should I roll for it?
No, you won't need to roll for it.
Oh, I suppose she would know.
Yeah, so she would know, full well that if this guy has fallen to chaos, then there is no forgiveness. There is no turning yourself in. There's just a swift bullet to the brain, and the body is burned.
Oh, well then let me rethink that for a minute,
Yeah.
now that I...
Forgiveness in the 40K universe very rarely exists. It takes very special and usually rather radical people to offer forgiveness. So it's possible that, yes, Tyrion might be one of those dewy-eyed optimists. So maybe she really does believe that, he could be saved. Or if she's going to be practical and pragmatic about it.
I'm going to stick with what I said and intend it fully.
Okay, so that's the kind of person Tyrion is. Let me roll a scrutiny for... actually, I guess we'll roll this publicly, no sense in having it private. Ooh la la.
Ooh. Aw.
Thank God.
So... She just sort of stares at Tyrion for now. She's not actually saying anything to what Tyrion suggested. And after this message, I'll ask Jess roll initiative. I'll also roll initiative for what's her nuts? Grace. Ooh, Grace got pretty high. So whichever of you gets the higher initiative gets to have the next line of dialogue after Brooke's Tyrion message.
Oh, so close.
Do I need to roll for that?
Nope. All right. So at this point, give me an awareness roll, please. Everybody, or not everybody. Lynn and Kieran.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, look, that's almost a 66. Bobo.
Or almost a 69.
That too.
So Grace will see the soldier entering at the other end of the room. The soldier will see Grace jump to her feet and salute. She's currently still in her military fatigues, but yes, her boots are off. And Lynn, you will also see Tyrion and her little, servo skull. Or was the servo? You got the servo skull with you?
Yep.
Okay. And Tyrion, when you see Grace jump to her feet, you'd be able to turn your head and see Lynn, because I don't imagine Lynn's being sneaky right now, is she?
Oh, hey there, boss lady. No, not really. Not exactly. She does kind of step aside when she sees you, though.
Well, sorry, yes. Grace will go to an at ease position. What? Do you hear German? What?
I think somebody's playing South Park Stick of Truth is what's happening.
Would that somebody
I think those were Nazi zombies you were hearing, Jess.
Oh. Oh.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I have to apologize to everybody for how things have been a little bit sluggish tonight. I do promise I'll get everybody together shortly.
It's no biggie, VT.
At the moment, the sergeant is just standing in the at ease position. It's pretty much clear as day that she's still doggedly tired, though. She'll kind of bite her lip. She'll look to Tyrion, and then she'll sit back down on her bed and just sort of lean against the wall and just what kind of posture would I say that is? She's got her elbow pressed down into her hand, balancing the other arm across her midsection and resting her head on the upstretched hand, if that's easy to explain. Here, actually, I'll send a picture. The picture says 1,000 words, yada, yada, yada. Of course, fucking new Google Images is fucking trash. There you go.
Yeah.
Only probably not quite that. I'm half asleep. Or I'm currently asleep.
Her eyes are open, but that's basically her present posture. once you're rested, I need you to help coordinate this place into a more defensive posture. Now, while you're sending so many patrols to the northeast, we need some of these troops back. Feel free to keep them scouting closer, but we need to get this place on lockdown for now, and I need you to lead that, all right? Give me a command roll.
Oh, for cripe's sake.
Fate.
Thank God.
I'd say that's fate-worthy.
Bobo, you had to open your stupid mouth. I'm in the room and another 99 was rolled.
Okay, so she will make herself more erect and give a proper salute. Say, yes, ma'am. You said I could have a few hours of sleep, though, right? Sounds like Kieran's also getting sleepy.
Tyrion is not sleepy. Brooke is sleepy.
Turn to Tyrion. She's using Anne as like a pillow.
She's laying down on some soldier's cot. Good night, world.
No, she's using Anne like to lean on and sleep on, and Anne just tries to flutter holding her weight.
Yeah, I don't think Anne would make a very good pillow.
You know what? If the body is tired enough, it sleeps just about anywhere.
True enough.
Are you responding to her request to sleep, Jess?
I think she is. Okay. Of course, I want you rested and calm, okay? I know the commissar has been a bit, let's just say, wrong for now and leave it at that. But he is being handled, so don't worry. Remember my first time in charge? It's a lot of pressure, but don't worry so much and try not to overthink things. And if you're worried about sending people idly to their deaths, don't worry. We're going to try to make things better, all right? I'd say that's a charm. And Tyrion, do you want to support Lynn in this?
No.
Just leaving it to herself. Okay. Give me a scrutiny roll, the two of you.
Oh, for cripe's sake.
So Grace says, yes, ma'am. But you can tell by her tone of voice that she doesn't really buy into the whole don't worry about sending people idly to their deaths. That part didn't exactly sit so well with Grace. But she still says, yes, ma'am, and is waiting for you to dismiss yourself before she goes back to sleep, or tries to go back to sleep. Also, you should all thank your lucky stars this isn't an orc war zone, because she rolled a 22.
Suddenly two orcs and I'd be, hi guys!
Tyrion isn't gonna let you get too far. She needs oops. Just so you know, Jess. She'll say to you, can we talk privately for a minute? Oh, crap. she no get no more sleep.
Somebody had to go and wake her, though.
Yeah, well, it was important to me.
So she's calling you Dale.
She wouldn't know that. Oh, she wouldn't know that.
Yeah. She's been informed as to Dale's full name and a bit of her background.
Can we keep walking so we're out of earshot of the barracks? That would be great. So we go back to the map room, wherever it is.
Yep, that's right.
Need to take Anne with me. It's about Grace. I don't think she should be leading the troops. She knows the renegade captain. I don't know in what capacity, but she knows him. She seems to think it's damning for how she knows him. I couldn't quite get any more details out of her than that. I don't know how else to explain this. She just personally has a bad feeling about sending her out there to lead people. She's gonna say, I'm just concerned based on what she's saying. And she clearly had a breakdown and clearly is not in good shape.
We cut back to Grace. Can't sleep. Clowns will get me. Can't sleep.
Not clowns. Not clowns. Commissars.
And it's not get me. It's eat me.
Oh.
Yes.
Been a while
But in
since
this case, I don't think the commissar wants to eat her so much as just blam her. So there we go. Can't sleep, commissar will blam me. Can't sleep, commissar will blam me.
I'm just concerned. I thought I would let you know. You realize this is like where we are right now is way out of my comfort zone.
Comfort zones. Dark heresy. Oh, I thought you were talking to a soldier. What do soldiers care about comfort zones?
Yes.
Great. Karen's been infected with Nurgle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll deceive.
I better roll well. Boom!
Lynn, roll scrutiny. Well, it's possible in Lynn's mind that Tyrion may not be aware of the fact that she revealed her inquisitorial rosette, but Lynn knows that Deadeye has said what Deadeye said. So either Tyrion is very good at lying, or Tyrion is blissfully unaware of what she's done. Leaning more towards blissfully unaware, just from the way Tyrion sounds so genuine in her innocence.
She batted her eyelashes a couple of times at you, by the way.
Roll to seduce.
Why I wouldn't do such a thing. I will be careful, I promise.
But to be fair, Micaiah didn't give them to you.
We turn back around. Somebody goes like, "Hey, look! I used my rosette to get us all these free tacos."
What flavor are they?
Raspberry, I think.
Considering all I heard was Brooke cough, I'm going to say they're Nurgle flavored.
They're heretically delicious.
All seasoned with spicy corn chipotle sauce.
And if any of you win the lottery, I expect you to buy Jess a place where she can use her microphone. That's fair, Brooke. So we'll communicate to you with typing as well. Or, well, you'll communicate to us, rather.
Screw that. If I win the lottery, I'm going to put it to research to building me a real-life Gundam.
Oh, dear.
Karen, you must use that ass to seduce the enemy into laying down their arms.
They're not Slaneshi. Okay, well, this is taking place. Did Haley and Talia want to do anything? Did Vern and Alex want to do anything? Oh, wait, no, Alex is currently flying. Right, sorry. So, Vern.
Just a second. I need to cough.
Joe, Haley?
Oh.
Okay. I've cleared my throat. I can breathe actually now. Well, there's not much Vern can do right now.
He's just keeping his eye on the commissar for now?
Yep.
You could
Okay.
go over the paperwork I left.
That is true. Actually, I will
Okay, give me
try
your
to read.
literacy roll. Okay, plenty of damning evidence here that the commissar has executed a great deal of soldiers. However, you do also stumble across some documentation that says there has actually been a replenishment of PDS troops since the commissar first started his executions. So while, yes, there was only 2,000 soldiers to begin with, and more than 1,000 have died either due to executions or battlefield casualties. Another 2,000 were deployed not too long ago and have been used to replenish those lost and further bolster the numbers on the base and at the mass grave site.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It seems I was meant to read, not to lead.
That's fantastic. Oh, hilarious. And let's see, did you learn anything else from the reports? Well, did you request any other types of reports?
So these are the reports on the executions.
Commissar's reports in general. Mainly it's the executions, but he also has other reports available. That's how he found out about the requisition of additional troops.
Oh.
Well, we'll come back to you. Just give it some thought. Haley? Joe, are you there?
Yeah. I had myself on mute.
Joe, oh, okay.
Yeah, with, I guess just pick up where we left off then with Talia.
So you and Talia are in the hall?
Yep. So you okay?
No, I'm not okay. We're in the middle of a I'm not going to say his name, but I'm pretty sure you know what that banner is. She'll point in the general direction of the Hive Tower.
Yep.
And yeah, no, I'm not okay. You know, I've never been one to support exterminatus, but I'd be kidding myself if I didn't think it would be a great idea right now.
Well, let's hope we're not on the planet when it happens. If it comes to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how reassuring. I'm sorry, snarkiness and facetious. That's your bag. I shouldn't steal that from you.
No, that's quite alright.
Oh, I think I'm going mad. Nothing else to say to that, Haley?
I can't think at all.
Nah, sorry.
I'm trying to come up with something here, and it's just...
Well, shall we move on, or did you want to keep trying?
Go ahead. We'll just end up sitting here forever otherwise.
Okay. Vern, did you come up with anything?
I can't think any actual documents that, in or out of character.
Okay. So I think then it's time to zoom on over to Alex arriving. And Alex, your jet engine will actually awaken Ariane, who will find herself alone in the middle of a kind of ruined residential landscape, bombed out buildings, debris, ashes, the smell of bodies in the air. But the sky is up above you, and it's probably getting close to sunset. It's not quite setting the sun yet, but it's late in the afternoon. The sky is somewhat cloudy, though, so it's not like you can really tell for sure what time it is. And you've got this really uncomfortable feeling under your back.
let's find out what that uncomfortable feeling is from first.
Okay, well, you'll shift around and you'll feel a large rectangular object.
Can I try to remove it?
Yep. It's rather heavy, and you take a look, and it's Vidar's. What was the name of that tome?
It's the. Hold on, let me check my character sheet. I have it open.
Liber Heresy.
Yeah, the Liber Heresy.
Yes. And yeah, so that's there now in your hands.
Well, that's kind of odd.
Your bolt pistol, however, is nowhere around you.
Screw you.
And you can hear the roar of engines getting very, very close very, very quickly.
Okay, I'm going to make an awareness roll. Oops.
I'm guessing you're using a laptop, considering the amount of ambient noise.
Yes. Oh my fucking god. 97.
Do you want to fake that or not?
No, I'll just make my Inferno pistol ready.
Okay. So you don't know where it's coming from. You can't figure it out. And in that case, Alexandra, you'll be landing next to her pretty much without her even realizing you're there.
I have the quietest jetpack in the world.
Oh, no, it's loud. It's loud. It's just she is distracted and she's looking in the wrong direction from where you just landed.
Are you seriously saying it's realistic for me to not notice when it's landing right next to me?
You're basically, you're going to be surprised for one round is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna land and just say, huh.
All you're saying is, huh?
I'm gonna go like, huh, you don't look like the last sisters I saw.
So, Ariane, someone just said that behind you.
Okay, she's gonna whirl around and point the Inferno pistol right at her. Yeah, Alexandra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, point the Inferno pistol at her.
Not saying anything, though?
Mind putting that?
No. Do not suffer the heretic voice, whatever thing. No. Well, I'm not gonna shoot, but I'm gonna point the Inferno pistol for it now. Actually, Ariane will also say, who are you?
Alexandra Romanoff, who are you?
Ariane Durand. Where am I?
Well, you're a few clicks northeast of a Imperial Guard outpost.
By
the way, Alexandra, you'll hear Deadeye whisper through the comm bead. I've got her in my sights. Just say the word if you need me to pop her.
Excellent. Okay. I'm not going to say anything out loud. I'm not going to reply to that.
Okay. Can I tell whether she's Imperial or not?
Okay, what clothing would Lynn be wearing right now? Would she be wearing her full carapace armor, or would she just be wearing the mesh? Would she be wearing her Navy uniform?
She'd be wearing her Navy uniform with some of the mesh on.
Okay, so this woman standing before you, Ariane, is wearing a naval uniform, rather high rank by the look of it, although she isn't displaying the actual badge for what rank she is. It's just a very good formal bit of clothing. And the fact that she's wearing this while using a rather expensive looking jump pack is enough to give you the impression that, yes, she is Imperial, but what the hell kind of person wears their, formal uniform while jumping around in a jump pack?
Someone who just doesn't give a damn.
You're from the Imperial Guard outpost, then, I would assume.
Not stationed there, no, but operating from there currently, yes.
Would you care to explain?
Would you care to explain how you came to be unconscious out here in the middle of a battlefield?
I cannot explain that, so you must explain.
You still mind putting down the gun out of my face, please?
Ariane will lower the gun, but not put it away.
Excellent.
So, could you if you could explain how I came to be here, which seems that you can't, or if you could explain what your purpose is here, which seems more likely, then either of those would assist me greatly.
Oh, we're here for two purposes. Both of those, from my current understanding, are classified to you at this moment.
Okay. I'm really tempted to pull out my rosette right now. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna pull out my rosette.
Did we say you had one?
I would assume that I have one. I'm an acolyte, a high-ranking acolyte.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you were trusted by Vidar well enough that you wouldn't have a full rosette, but you would have a badge that labels you as a direct underling of Inquisitor Vidar.
Okay, I'll pull that out. Serves the same purpose.
Alex is gonna raise an eyebrow. Huh. There's more of us out here than I thought.
Will she reveal her rosette?
She's just going to flash hers.
Okay. Ariane, do you have any sort of knowledge for the Inquisition? No, you have knowledge of Administratum and Imperium. So, yeah, Ariane, give me a quick roll.
It's a flash off.
I thought I was going to have knowledge Inquisition.
Badge battle. Whose badge is better?
Okay, well, I'll roll. If it's not on the sheet, then don't worry about it. I can get it later.
Yeah, I don't remember where it would have come from if you did get it. But
oh no, it was from I have peer Inquisition, not knowledge Inquisition. That's what.
Okay, well, yeah, actually, you know what? Even peer would give you enough of a bonus in this case. You're fairly sure that the item being held by this other woman marks her as independent, whereas yours marks you as in need of Vidar's direction to make any sort of declarations.
So essentially, she's higher ranked than me.
Pretty much. She may not be a higher rank, but someone of a higher rank has invested in her the authority to be authoritative.
Okay. I don't necessarily... Do I need to answer to her? Or not? Or is that up to me?
That's kind of up to you. Vidar, you want to defer to Vidar.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to put my inquisitorial badge thing away. And I'll say I honestly have no idea how I got here. Last thing I remember was in a completely different indoor location. I don't suppose you would know the name Vidar.
That said otherwise, I definitely know I have no lore training at all to know that name.
Yeah, you've got no real connections to the Inquisition, so you wouldn't recognize that name, no. However, is anyone else listening in on this conversation?
Well, I would have my microbeat open for this whole entire conversation.
So anyone who's listening in, feel free to roll Inquisition if you happen to have it.
I do believe I do have Inquisition. Yes, I do.
Okay. Vern, you are aware that Inquisitor Vidar is a moderate, medium rank Inquisitor. There are plenty of Inquisitors that are, well, not plenty, but he's about halfway up the food chain of Inquisitors. He is puritanical leading, but has been known to occasionally do the radical thing here and there. He is Ordo Hereticus and has a particular interest in rooting out cults and witches, although mutants he doesn't seem to get too obsessed about. Are you going to relay any of that to Ariane? Sorry, are you Alex? Are you going to relay any of that to Alex?
I will relay all of it to her.
So for a moment, Alex, you'll just be listening to what Vern has to say to you. Would you be holding the microbead with your finger just to give Ariane a hint as to what you're doing?
I'm going to try to deceive her, just to make her seem like I know this knowledge firsthand.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm not trained in deceive. Oh, actually, I am trained in basic in deceive.
Well, basic's different than trained, but
I won't end up having to get half of that.
Yeah, your 53 is pretty good for lying. You're no Tyrion, but sorry, you were saying something, Frosty?
Yeah, what was the Inquisitor's name?
Vidar. Sorry, I'll type it out.
Okay. Just making notes.
And Ariane, you're excellent at picking up on lies. Roll your scrutiny.
Yes, I am. Haha.
You see right through her. You know that while she does respond accurately, you can tell that delay between the time that it takes her to actually say these things, someone's feeding that information to her.
I say, you have good sources.
Those I can trust. Apparently you're
I assume you're working with some sort of network. This is a dangerous place to be, after all.
Yes. Exactly where is your Inquisitor, though?
That's what I'm trying to find out right now.
Okay. Do you happen to remember where you last were?
Somewhere in one of the hive complexes.
You know it was the Lister Block Hive Tower.
Say that again?
The Lister Block Hive Tower. I'll lay it on the map.
I'll just say that. I was in the Lister Block Hive Tower.
Since she already caught me, I'm going to be like, do any of you happen to know exactly where that is?
Well, you looked at the map already, so just give me a general intelligence roll.
Okay, just general then.
Yeah, you'd remember that this one right here was that very same hive structure.
Oh, you're a bit of ways away. It's southeast from the Imperial Guard outpost.
Yeah, that's let me see here. That's about 6.5 kilometers.
6.5 kilometers south of the outpost. Bit close to the pit, though. What were you guys doing around the pit?
Oh, no, it's
we were inside the hive. We were not anywhere near the pit.
Well, it's still I was just saying, just because, just map-wise, it's...
It's still a kilometer away.
Yeah.
Not that close, considering the hive goes up more than a kilometer.
So what exactly were you and your Inquisitor doing in that tower?
I'm afraid that's classified.
Well, it's going to be hard to help you then to get reunited with him.
You don't need to know my motives in order to know where he is or assist me in finding him. All you need to do is help me.
Okay.
So perhaps if I can trust you, which at the moment I'm not inclined to trust you since you attempted to... Never mind. Let me, out of character, let me just think about how to word that a bit better. Since you attempted to pass yourself off as somewhat more knowledgeable than you actually are, as in regards to my Inquisitor, but whatever. All I need to do is find him. If I can trust you, then I may inform you of what my purpose here was. Otherwise, I don't see much reason to do that right now, and I hope that you understand being...
I understand. But you also understand that before we do that, I'm going to have to take you back to see the rest of those I'm with.
Yes, I do perfectly understand that, and I'm willing to cooperate.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you happen to know what... I don't know how to properly describe it, but there was something that I saw, and I couldn't quite place what it was, but maybe you would have a little bit more experience, or maybe one of your contacts. No, I won't say it here. Come, let's go back to the guard outpost.
Okay. I'm going to say out loud, you can stand down now.
I put the Inferno pistol away.
Yeah. I was just giving the stand down order to Deadeye.
Oh.
Deadeye
I put the Inferno pistol away anyway.
Deadeye, say, do you want me to return to base with you, or shall I continue my scouting?
I can take her back. If you wish to come with us, go ahead. If you wish to continue scouting, you can do that too.
Let me think for a minute. I'll stay outside. Have fun.
Doesn't surprise me at all. No. Was a bit way back. Let me see here. I don't think I'm going to be able to carry her back with my jetpack, am I? To speed it up.
You could, but you'd have to roll your pilot tests at -20, and Ariane, you'd have to roll. Strength is bad for you.
Yeah, I'm not taking that chance.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. Actually, you know what, Alexander, I'd say you'd be able to have straps enough that you could even strap Ariane basically to your torso. But your pilot test will still be at -20.
Okay, and exactly how long would it take to walk back or jog back or whatever?
And sorry, just a second. Lynn, were you actually saying that over the microbead? Oh, okay. All right. So it's 3.5 kilometers. So if you were to just hike it, which of you is slower? Yours agility is 43. Your agility is 36. So we'd go at the slower speed, and that would mean narrative time. So just be under an hour of hiking.
I would speak that, well, we can hike it. We can go on foot for about an hour, or I can try to fly you back.
Is it safe to fly me back?
Mostly.
Never lie. No, never lie. I'm just gonna be upfront about it. Like, be a bit of a challenge, but I can maybe do it. Be faster though.
Are we in safe territory right now?
I flew over here just fine. Didn't take
Do you know if it would be safe to proceed on foot? I know that this area is, maybe not this particular area, but the area near the city, more to the southeast, is occupied.
They seem to be focusing most of their attention on the pit. To my knowledge, they have not sent out any kind of raiding parties or anything like that.
is time of the essence?
Depends on you. How quickly you want to get back to your Inquisitor.
Let's take the jetpack.
Okay.
All right, so once again, it'll be 3 pilot tests, and remember, you're at the -20 here. Oh boy.
Okay, so I don't think that's
that
60.
first one is, yeah, you should have actually done them one at a time. So
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
state the results. Yeah, right off the bat is going to be a rough start, but it's not going to be fatal or anything. The 95, however.
Can I fake
do you
that?
want- Yes, yes, you may.
Fate. That'd be really bad if I drop Scout's character.
We're going to
That-
crash land, hooray!
With the
Nice
95,
reference.
yes, it would be pretty much you hit a wall. But with the fate point, 57 will succeed. There will be a bit of a rough start while Alex is still getting acquainted with the extra weight, but it'll be about 25 minutes return flight. So, shaving off a good half hour from your return trip. In that half hour, Vern, are you still just in the commissar's office?
Yes.
Just intimidating the shit out of him?
Yeah, and I think reading through the goddamn, files takes some time. So, I'm just reading them and trying to internalize them.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, this is like 100% fate.
That's not much of a success there,
Yeah, but it's not invoking, so I'm happy.
Well, you're now out of fate, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all this paperwork is just starting to bleed together, and honestly, at this point, you don't think there's anything else you can learn from just report after report after report of people being executed for various crimes of inefficiency, and there's even a few here where people were executed because they'd started worshiping that symbol on the banner. There are reports of people being executed for attempting to desert. There are people being executed for trying to smuggle, ammo out or smuggle contraband in. All in all, it's more stern than even what you as an Arbites would be sentencing people for. But then again, this is a war zone, so maybe it is appropriate. But at the same time, this is an Imperial Guard commissar doling out judgment for a simple planetary defense force.
Okay.
Tally will say, where are we supposed to go, Lynn? Or sorry, she'd say Sergeant. Oh, la-di-da. Daly, you going back there too?
Yep.
Okay. And so just before we do that role play, Vern, was there anything else you wanted to do with all the paperwork?
No, not really. Also, Vern feels left alone.
Well, no, you still have Marnius with you.
Who was Marnius?
He's my
I don't
butler.
remember.
He's the kind of guy you don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
That's why he's such a
So
good
I keep
butler.
doing that. I don't pay attention to.
Lynn is also asking you, where are you?
I'm still at the commissar's office. Will do. Gladly, will do.
And Dex will follow you and stay very quiet in the back. Quieter than Anne, even. Actually, servo skulls are quite quiet. All right, Lynn's going all full commander. That Bryce fellow, yeah, disregard his rank entirely. Just that fella.
Missiles would do nicely. But I will take whatever I can.
Vern, you are presently carrying some explosives, don't forget.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking strapped with explosive, but there can never be too much explosives. Especially when taking on a artillery squad.
Scout, a Bob, did you guys read my message?
I did.
Scout?
Give me 1 second. Message? Hold on.
Yeah, I typed it. Sorry. Just
Where was
so
it?
you two aren't bored, so you guys, since you're flying together, you may as well have a conversation.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Indeed.
Haley, Lynn is assigning you to go with Tyrion.
Me.
That was weird. Skype dropped. I'm back.
Neither Haley or Tyrion seems too happy. Haley, are you going to raise a stink? After all, you're one of the 3 commanders on this mission.
No. She'll like look at Lynn for a second, like, Why me? But then again, it is Tyrion, so. All right.
So are you leaving the room now or waiting for Lynn to finish her briefing?
Finish the briefing. All right then.
Okay, well, as you step out into the hallway, you'll see Sergeant Grace kind of wandering down the hall towards your direction.
Sergeant.
Oh, good. I found you. I couldn't sleep. I figure I should, get something, something worthwhile done. You notice pretty much straight away she doesn't have her boots on. And she seems really kind of out of it still. But she seems determined to prop herself up against the wall and keep walking. She would giggles. Sleep with my boots on? No, that'd be whatever. I can't sleep. I need to do my duty. I need to do my duty for the Imperium.
And how well can you do your duty when you can barely stand?
She can't seem to think of any way to respond to that.
Duty.
Lynn, you'd probably be Lynn and Vern. You'd be able to hear this conversation taking place in the hall if you wanted to go over.
I don't think Vern should go there. He would just cause more trauma to her. Yeah.
See, Vern is a sensitive guy.
Or lazy.
Go back to your room, rest up, and then come back here and do your job.
I'd say you all gang up on her, so who wants to take the lead on the command?
Well, since I'm the one who said it, I might as well. Holy shit.
Bravo. Tyrion, did you want to assist?
You better make this work, or Vern needs to come there and...
You could use charm,
order.
You could use deceive, you could... What way did you want to assist Haley's assertiveness? Okay. So, Grace will nod, say, fine. Can I at least go to the, what's the name of that place where the guy has the drugs and the bone saws and the needles? And she's like grabbing her head as she's trying. Yes, the infirmary. Can I go there and get some sleeping pills at least?
Very well.
So Tyrion says yes. Does anyone say no?
Can you not hear me?
We can.
We'll just DC a little. VTDC a little.
Okay.
Can't count. Computer crash. Did we get booted out of map tools? No. Okay. Okay, we had to. Okay. We had to call real quick.
Shit poopy.
It's finally working?
I will.
We can hear you.
Okay. So, how much did you hear me say for Grace?
Pretty much nothing.
Okay, so Tyrion said yes. Was anybody going to counterman Tyrion?
I just said very well.
Why would I?
Okay, so Grace will continue stumbling down the hall then towards what you guys can only assume must be the infirmary.
I think someone was an escort with her.
She's not moving very fast, so if you guys want to follow her, it won't be difficult.
We have our own job to do.
So she's splitting up, it seems. Okay. Tyrion, give me a scrutiny roll. Okay. Oops. So close. Tyrion, it's pretty clear to you that any soldier that sees Grace in her present condition is losing an immense amount of morale because they know Grace is the present commander. And she's staggering around the hallways with no boots on, barely able to stand.
So she looks like any other woman at a night of partying doing a walk of shame.
Except this isn't a place where people are having parties.
Yeah.
Unless your name is Nurgle.
We turn back to the tower, we hear a techno beat and the wave lights going off.
Grace will kind of shoo you away, say, I thought you said I could go to the infirmary. I can only imagine the string of profanities coming out of Brooke's mouth right now. Oh, wow. I do believe that is all of your fate, though. Indeed, you are fateless now. Howdy, oh, Izzy's not in the call. Did you want in the call, Izzy? Okay. So she will. Okay. Grace will say, "No, you don't even know where the infirmary is. You just go about your business. I've got this. I've got this." Okay, so go ahead and make a weapon skill test. You will get a plus 30 for Grace's current state. I'm sorry. I'm imagining if that were a 99 in our present situation. Tell you what, if she gets a 99 on the, no, there's no need to do a dodge. Okay, an awareness roll to see if she even notices that you just flubbed an attempt to grab her as she staggers down, basically. You weren't expecting her to fall to her knees, and that's exactly what she did. But then she gets back up. She pulls herself back up, and it doesn't seem that she's even noticed that Tyrion was trying to grab her. Okay. Give me a roll for that. Okay. Grace will stop moving, and she'll take a moment to look, bleary-eyed, at some of the soldiers. She'll see them staring at her. She slowly pans her head around, realizing just how right Tyrion is. She kind of curses silently, sighs, and turns around and attempts to start heading back. Anything else from Tyrion? Okay, give me a inquiry roll. Very nice. The soldier will say, "I can escort you there myself, ma'am, if you wish." Delightful. And the soldier will do just that as Grace makes her way back slowly to where she needs to go. Lynn, was there anything else you wanted to do, or were you just waiting in the planning room? Well, Vern's present, so we may as well do it in text, while Haley goes to Bryce.
Knock knock.
Who is it?
Oh, me. I can't remember. Did we show off the Inquisition stuff to this
Not
guy?
to him.
Okay.
As far as he is assuming, and not that you guys necessarily even realize this, but he's assuming you were sent here by the Imperial Guard to clean up the mess that is the Renegade Captain.
Okay. One of the new guys.
What do you need?
To talk.
Why now?
Well, is there ever going to be any other more opportune time?
When the war is over? Sorry, that's a bad joke. I'm very sorry. Come in.
I'll go inside.
What do you need?
Requests.
You need requests? What?
No, we have some requests. Namely on how we're going to go about fighting this war.
Oh, so you seem to believe you're taking command then? Hmm?
Not me, but I gotta relay the orders.
Very well. Where are the documents?
Yeah. There's not going to be very many official documents for this. In fact, the documents here are what's bogging you down.
It's my duty to ensure that everything happens above board, fully recorded, fully officiated, lest we fall prey to chaos.
Indeed, but constantly filling out paperwork to fill up a hole that's getting bombarded isn't getting us anywhere, now is it?
I don't believe I quite like your tone, young woman.
Sorry about that. I'm not exactly the best speaker. Anyway. What? Anyway, how should I do this? We're gonna need to start to pull back out of the gravesite.
My entire purpose for this entire base is to fill that grave site. And considering they're not going to stop sending the corpses, I'm not going to allow them to pile up into a mountain on the docks.
No, but we're going to need some alternatives for now until we can find a way to deal with the Medusas.
Really? And what are these alternatives?
That's what we need to figure out.
Oh, of course.
Is there anywhere we can make a temporary dump site?
For the sheer quantity, no. The whole purpose that we excavated that land for was what that land was excavated for. Most of our excavation equipment has now either been destroyed or was pinned down by more suppressive fire from the Medusas.
And blindly digging further in is getting us nowhere now, isn't it?
At this point, we've stopped digging. We are simply shipping the corpses down there.
Well, what we need to do is pull back. We need to start pulling back a little bit so we can get the Medusa's range. If we could pull back a little, if we could pull back, we I can't word.
Did you want to take a break, Joe?
We're trying to determine the maximum range of the Medusa's firing capabilities, so we can better determine their locations.
Huh. Give me a roll to see if you convince him. Oh, bravo. He'll look kind of flabbergasted for a moment and say, yes, that sounds like a very tactically wise maneuver. I will see to it immediately that I have the necessary orders put in place. Was there anything further?
Let's see. Well, once we start determining their range, we'll be able to start making plans to take out the Medusas and slowly start pushing back, and that will make your job easier, that's for sure. But, was there anything else? I can't remember.
Jess?
It seems she's typing. Okay.
So basically, make sure that we've been put onto a defensive posture rather than, scouting or attempting attacks.
Yeah. Start fortifying more of a defensive perimeter.
Yes, I'll be sure to relay these orders to my field commander, Sergeant Grace Stayer, and have her make the necessary arrangements for that. Although I have to admit, I was actually expecting a report from her not too long ago, and I'm not sure where she is.
She's preoccupied.
Oh, you've already come into contact with her, I take it?
Yes.
Very well then. I will see to it that these orders are signed and put into place. Anything further?
For now, no. We will return if anything does come up.
Very well then. The Emperor protects.
Emperor protects.
And he immediately gets back to scribbling on his papers. And that message I just sent would be in Talia's words. That would get Talia to chuckle. Okay, actually, Haley, you wouldn't be able to make it back yet. The conversation, it would take you a while to get all the way to Bryce, to talk to Bryce and get all the way back. Lynn would be talking to Tally and Vern in that meantime. Well, that's taking place. Tyrion, would there be anything out of the ordinary that you'd do other than grab the pills and go to Grace? Okay, well then that'll just have to wait in the meantime, I'm afraid. So Talia's response to Lynn will be, and do you realize that I'm not exactly a soldier? I'm more of what you'd call a adept. At least I used to be before Machiasen. Yes, I serve mankind. So, what do you want me to do? What I think of your plan is that we don't have enough intel yet. I think that you're kind of rushing into things here. You probably need to take a step back. You need to analyze the entire situation and not commit to any orders until you know exactly what we're up against, where it is, and what exactly they want. On top of that, we weren't sent here to win this war. We were sent here. She'll look around the room. She'll stare at the servant for a moment and then lower her voice so just hopefully Vern and Lynn will hear her. We're here to look for demons, apparently. So maybe you should do what we were sent here to do. Not that I want to find any, mind you, but it would be a lot better to look and not find any than, get ourselves all blown up by Medusa. Of course, I'd rather get blown up by the Medusa if we actually did find demons.
At this point, Vern will chime into the conversation and say that, yes, we were sent to look for these demons, but if you also remember, Machiasen showed us a picture of this tower, and as I think he meant looking for them from there, that goddamn banner there.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I don't want to find them. Do you really want to find them? Like, isn't the orbital bombardment really the best option?
Well, the orbital bombardment would work, but we need to get something at the base of the fucking tower to get the orbital bombardment there.
Oh, I already volunteered for that. Sorry.
Yes, funny. But to get there, we need to get rid of those goddamn bombardment artilleries.
Lynn, I'm not sure if you know much about that 3-circle symbol there. This place is already a waste. There's not a lot of coming back from what it is that symbol means. She'll point with her hand in the general direction. Oh, God, she doesn't know. Vern, you know what those 3 rings mean, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm not too eager to start spouting profane knowledge, but do you have that same qualm? I don't think so. Why don't you go ahead and let her know what we're up against?
We'll take it.
I'm just going to plug my ears while you do that. La, 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 la.
Take a deep breath and give a very small, quick version of what the fuck that is. Very
the
basic.
basics of Nurgle.
And he will avoid using the name of the demon, of course.
And do you have any sort of bonuses to your... Oh, well, actually, yeah, 53. That will be just a success. So, yeah. Lynn, you've now been exposed to the knowledge that that tower is probably swimming in a cloud of disease, viruses, and the fact that they're bombarding a graveyard suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. It's not just about demoralizing troops anymore. It's about pulverizing and turning corpses into airborne particles.
Hey, look, everybody, it's a giant bowl of disease soup.
Pretty much. Talia will unplug her ears when she notices Vern's mouth stop moving. Say, "You're done?" She'll look at Lynn and kind of go, Yeah, so I guess you understand now why I've been the way I've been since we landed.
To be honest, I don't like it even here either, but we have a job to be done, and it needs to be done.
Well, maybe I was wrong about you, Vern.
Huh?
I mean, you're obviously still insane, but I figured you a lot more selfish. You know, no offense, but caught me surprised.
And
This line of work will make you selfish. 25 years this doesn't make you a very sociable person.
Yeah, fair enough. It's kind of funny that I'm coming to actually appreciate your insight into these sort of things, Vern. Never thought I'd see the day. But Talia will stand and kind of pat Lynn on the shoulder gently, saying, try not to think about it too much. You're a soldier. You should be able to put the blinders on and stare dead ahead, right? She'll give you a haphazard kind of grin.
Lynn, if it's any consolation, it doesn't work that fast, or that way if you think about it. Since, like I said, I've been bitten by one of those fucking things once.
She'll chuckle, saying, yeah, I think we'll ask somebody to go fetch you a second eye patch, sure. But yeah, your plan to get rid of the artillery, it seems good enough to me. At this point, Haley, you'd actually be able to come in. Sorry to have kept you in the hall so long.
Done.
And I'll let you finish before I talk about the artillery. Go ahead.
Do you got the prize?
Haley, I think it would be pretty clear to you, unless Lynn's trying to hide it. Yeah, Lynn looks far less composed.
Well, you look like you've seen better days.
Well, now she knows what we're up against.
Talia will look over to Haley and say, you'll probably want to say prayers a little more often during our visit here.
Can do.
Is there a way to lace prayers with antibiotics?
Okay. Alexandra, you'd actually be landing now with Ariane. The soldiers out in the yard are watching in amazement as what looks to be a Navy captain or some high rank dropped off what looks to be a non-Sororitas Sororitas. She isn't wearing Sororitas armor, but she does have the devotional items and whatnot. So they're kind of confused as to what they're witnessing here.
Just land and just go like, oh, are you brought for the savior?
Okay. Are these PDF or guardsmen or something?
Mainly PDF. There are a few guardsmen.
Okay, who's the nearest person to me?
Sorry, what was that?
Who is the nearest person to me?
Well, Alexandra. But,
Hi!
Alexandra still. Figured.
There are plenty of soldiers within, waving distance or talking distance.
Okay. I was going to talk to one of them, but actually Alexandra would probably suit my purposes just as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, So where is your captain, your leader? Not sure what the right terminology would be here.
Probably should be asking them. We're overhearing this whole entire meeting in the map room. So my microbead.
Certainly.
Okay. They're over here in the map room. Follow me.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Vern, would you have shut off your microbead while you talked about Nurgle?
Let's make a intelligence roll to see if Vern would have actually figured that to do that.
After the base just went nuts.
Why are
This
all
was
of
off
these?
podcast, but was Vern?
Why was we come
Yeah.
flying? We come flying in. We see all the guardsmen and PDF soldiers just stripped naked, trying to clean themselves as best as they can with.
No. It would have been, it would have been to your ears, and Tyran's ears, and everybody on the. I'm probably dead eyes too, but it seems with that roll, I would be smart enough to just shut it down for the moment.
Good. So, fortunately, Alexandra, you will notice that the conversation stops after Talia says something about Vern having to tell Lynn something, and then you lose the audio. So obviously something private was being discussed. So you didn't hear anything about the Nurgle moment, and it's been silent since then. Unless Vern, Lynn, did either of you reactivate your comm beads?
Vern would turn his combead on after he had,
Totally discussed it?
discussed it, and Haley walked back in.
Okay. And so that would be about the same time that they'd be landing outside. And so I guess that also spared Tyran, although I think Tyran, were you the one who didn't succeed on your knowledge roll last week? Or 2 weeks, or however many weeks it was? I know one of you didn't succeed.
I knew for sure I didn't roll at all because I had no knowledge of that.
Yeah. Okay, well, in any event, you didn't overhear Vern's rather gruesome details, at least. But, so, Alexandra, are you going to lead Ariane into the map room?
Yeah, I'll be saying over the microbead that I'm back and I'm bringing the sister with me to the map room.
I can hear her talking into the microbead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she has to verbally speak out loud, so yeah, you can hear her just fine.
I thought maybe she was sub-vocalizing or something. Anyway, Ariane's going to say, I'm not a sister.
Okay. Correction, I'm bringing the non-sister to the map room.
Isn't there a band called Sister? Oh no, that's Scissor Sisters. Never mind.
Sister, Twisted Sister.
Yeah, there was like an old Disney show, I think, called Sister.
Whether you should live or die. Sorry. Just an appropriate song by the band Sister Sisters. But Ariane, are you going to follow Alexandra?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
And so,
unless there's a reason.
Okay. Okay. So Ariane has a number of devotional items visible, correct?
Yes. I mean, she's got the fleur-de-lis. She's got, what else does she have? She has an abridged copy of the Litanies of Faith, a Ring of Suffrage. What else?
Probably
it?
so, like logos and whatnot would be on her armor.
Oh, yeah, she'd probably have some purity seals and stuff like that.
Okay. So
But
it's pretty
nothing-
clear that she is a devotional, devout, faithful person.
Yes.
So, people, you see a woman walking in with light power armor and devotional items. Lynn says, "Greetings, sister."
Vern doesn't say a word.
Ariane, I'll take a soft breath and then say hello.
Talia will look her up and down, say, "That's some pretty impressive armor you have there." And she'll notice Haley doing the sign of tequila, and she'll actually do the same.
Well, Ariane can do the sign of the Aquila as well. In return. As
Vern being religious, he probably should do that too.
Yeah.
Everybody get in on this Aquila party.
Aquila, Aquila, Aquila.
Strangely, the butler is the only one who doesn't do it. Turns out the butler's been dead the last 10 minutes.
He did it, but he did it so subtly, no one noticed. So, Talia will say, that's very impressive armor you have there, if you don't mind my saying.
No, I don't mind.
And I must have missed it, but were you a late deployment, or what's going on?
I give Alexandra a sidelong glance, sort of questioning, like non-vocally questioning whether she's trustworthy, I guess.
Vern will pipe out and say, "Well, if I guess correctly, she was working with Inquisitor Vidar."
Yes, I was.
Inquisitor Vidar. You'll see Talia kind of snapping her fingers and trying to think. I don't know that one. Which one is that?
Order Hereticus usually does cult, hunts cults, witches, and is around the mid-tier Inquisitor on the ladder rung,
I know most Inquisitors, considering my line of work. I don't remember an Inquisitor Vidar at all. Are we sure that this is valid information?
Well, I have heard of him, so unless you doubt my knowledge.
Well, I doubt a lot of things about you, Vern, but I'll trust you on this. She'll give a little smile to let you know she's trying to be playful.
And
Ariane.
Smirk.
And she drops
Ariane
the B
smirks
word.
a little bit as well.
And the romantic subplot between Vern and Talia begins again.
Again?
Again?
I didn't know there was a first time.
Well, Talia's
but,
getting awfully buddy-buddy with Vern right now.
Ariane, give me a roll, please. Come on, really good roll, really good roll. Damn it, not good enough. Oh, well.
Not good enough? That's not good enough. It's 35.
Yeah,
I
I'm
could
afraid
change
not.
it if you think it's important.
Oh, it's not important. It's just epic story moment.
Why do I need a really good roll to get the epic story moment?
Because there's information. There was a name drop just now, and if Ariane recognized that name, it could have spawned a whole great deal more. But with the 35, it will not be good enough.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Oh, yeah, my name. Whoops. That was
Ariane clears her throat.
Well,
so which
we
one
have
of you is-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people against her, so yeah, I think we're fine. Even if she would have figured out who I am.
Did you guys hear what I said?
What was that?
Ariane clears her throat and says, "Which one of you is in charge?"
Pick one.
Talia will just kind of smile broadly as she looks to Haley, Vern, and Lynn.
It depends. Is this military, investigative, or a holy matter?
Ariane sighs and sort of holds her face in her hand for a second. Overall.
Probably all
That
three
would
of them at
be
the
Lynn.
same. Okay.
And I'd point
Oh.
to.
Vern is deferring to Lynn. Lynn is deferring to Vern.
Well, she has taken the commanding role here because we are on the battlefield.
Okay. That's fair, I suppose.
And she has been more active than Vern.
I apologize about that. Our command structure has been very bureaucratic.
I can see that.
Causing trouble for Lynn. Who's next?
I'm blanking out right now.
So yes, Haley. You said you wanted to ask the one in charge about something?
I'm out of character. I'm blanking still. What did I don't think I said I wanted to ask the person who was in charge anything. I just wanted to know who was in charge, I guess.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
I think you were also talking about the Dar, tracking him down, finding out what the present situation was.
So, if you don't mind, I'm not interrupting anything in character. What am I saying? So, if you don't mind, I could use your collective assistance as long as you have any resources to spare. My Inquisitor is missing right now. That is what Alexandra has just collected me from. I found myself in the middle of the city with absolutely no idea how I managed to get there. And
Battlefield edition.
The last memory that I have, my Inquisitor was right there with me. And now he has completely vanished, and I don't know where he's gone.
Apparently, the last time she was with a Inquisitor was over in the Lister block.
Yeah.
Yeah, you found her in the east of here?
Northeast.
That's quite a ways away from.
And you guys have a big map right there on the wall.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm just saying that that's quite a ways away from the Lister Hive block.
Easily a few kilometers. It wasn't a critical failure, just a fail.
Vern doesn't even try to figure out the exact measurements yet. A whole ways away.
I'm just picturing Lynn suddenly pulling out a bunch of carrots of various sizes, just lining them out, trying to get the measurement.
What were you doing?
Yes, it is some distance.
What were you doing as you lost contact with your Inquisitor?
The last memory I have, we were in the middle of a firefight trying to escape from a room completely surrounded by heretics. I assume they were cultists. I'm not positive, though.
You would be able to recognize that there was obvious mutations among them.
Some of them were mutants.
Okay, something's getting crunched.
Sorry.
Oh.
Did we know about this mutant in the Lizard Hive Tower block?
No.
This is the first we've ever heard of cultists being so close to the base.
Yeah, this is not good.
Well, hive structures, like even this one is small for a hive structure, but they are big. They're like a city unto themselves. So even though you're a city all around the hive, it's kind of like a separate city inside the hive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much picture like the mega blocks from like the Judge Dredd movies.
VT, can you remind me exactly what information we got from the guy we interrogated and what we were acting on?
Vidar didn't reveal a lot to you. He was keeping a great deal rather secret, but he was apparently looking for a specific cult that he believed to be operating in this city. And he didn't seem too eager to head over to the Nurgle infested tower. Although I don't know if you have that kind of forbidden knowledge, do you?
I do not.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that. So he wouldn't have revealed that it's Nurgle or anything like that. You wouldn't know that. But he was particularly interested in the tower you guys were in, not the South Tower. There was a particular cult he was looking for, and he wanted to wipe it out. To the last man and woman, whatever, no survivors.
To the last cultist.
To the last cultist, yeah. And that's what the plan was there. And the man you interrogated claimed that the cult was in that room that you all went to. And obviously that didn't quite pan out the way it was expected to for the Inquisitor. So how much of that will you reveal to the other player characters?
Let's say we were investigating a cult. My Inquisitor didn't reveal very many specifics to me. We intended to purge them. That much seemed clear. But we thought we'd found the lead. As it turns out, it was a trap, and the cultists ambushed us. We were attempting to escape. The last I remember. I do not remember whether or not we actually did escape. Obviously, I'm alive, so that suggests something. But at the same time, I don't know what the circumstances of my escape were.
Do you have any idea how big cult we are talking about here?
It was significant enough for my Inquisitor to be concerned with it. I am not honestly sure whether he suspected demonic involvement.
Let's see. Do I have any knowledge of cult? Yeah, I actually have basic knowledge of cult.
Flynn's take on this.
Actually trained. Ooh.
Flynn's take on this recently turned to vote. He's covered in blood. Already took care of the cults.
Let's see.
And that is freaking adorable, Jess. Like, too adorable. I like how the brain has a little pipe. Oh, sorry, Jess only sent it to me. Yeah, are you sending that to the group, Jess? Yeah, there you go. No, sorry, Brooke. We'll try and wrap this up shortly. So give me your roles for cults. Those who have
first,
knowledge.
heresy count?
Yep, heresy, cults. Just
Vern
be
would
sure to
ask,
declare what it is that you're rolling.
Vern would first ask, did this cult have a name or a logo or some kind?
Yes, Scout, give me a D100 roll, please.
Oh my, that was a good roll.
That's a good roll.
Indeed. Ariane will have seen a pentagram, not a pentagram, a pentagon as a symbol with a circle at each corner. And it was a silvery white color. And that was the symbol which Inquisitor Vidar showed to the interrogatee, the person you were interviewing. That's the symbol. The victim. Sure, he showed him that symbol, asking where the cult that's associated with this symbol was hiding.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Sorry, you were going to say something?
In that case, Ariane will say, does anyone have any paper?
You could draw it on the whiteboard. There's a whiteboard.
Oh, there's a whiteboard? Okay.
Yeah.
Then she'll go up to the whiteboard and say the cult had this symbol, and she'll draw it.
In fact, let me just even... I wouldn't be able to draw it exact anyways, but I'll try and do a quick sloppy one. Sloppy one. So it would look a lot better than this, but you guys can see that?
Where? Okay, yeah.
Where is it?
Although
Just to the
Vern has
left,
no knowledge.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, Vern's already used his fate point.
I got a 12.
Yes, you did. So, the thing is, you don't have cults. You have heresy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tricky. What can I tell you that would be appropriate for having knowledge heresy? Oh, you know what? I've got an idea. Where is my private window for you? Actually, you know what? I don't even need to necessarily say this privately. All you would have been told by your mother, in fact, is that symbol equates to one of the worst heretical groups she has ever had the misfortune of knowing. And if you were to ever see that symbol, in fact, you know what? Give me a willpower roll. Please fail. Please fail hard. How much of a fail was that? Haley is... Oh boy. Draw your pistol and take a shot.
At me or
at the symbol on the wall? You'll end up drawing the plasma weapon, in fact. I'm subtracting 1 from your plasma ammo.
She went
Oh my.
pissed.
At least
so mad she can't even aim straight.
you're going to have to take another shot. You missed.
You know what? The session's almost over, so I'll just fade it.
Oh, okay.
Do I need to roll dodge?
No one needs to actually roll dodge. Haley faded it. So yeah, Haley just blew a hole through the wall with a plasma pistol. Actually, no, you just drew the symbol. So yes, actually, Ariane, get the fuck out of the way. Yes, no, but you weren't drawing the symbol, Lynn. If you'd like, do 22.
Oh my
yes,
god!
all right.
Hating that.
You know what? Okay. You fade it, sure. I was gonna say Lynn's 22 though could shove Ariana out of the way, even if your fate point fails.
Yeah, I got
Giggity! Oh my! I have to roll. You're spared for now.
Wait, what happens if you roll 69?
It was a 96 and then a 69. So if I rolled a 9 or a 6,
yeah.
But nothing happens, so you don't need to worry. But yeah, so Haley, in a fit of religious rage, just eradicated the symbol that you just drew.
Did anyone see that before?
What the fuck is wrong with you, Haley?
I think I have to ask that same question, actually. I was trying to give you intelligence. And
by the way, this is the first time Vern has used the name Haley instead of Jane.
Okay, well, you're saying Haley. Alex is going to be yelling out, "By the Emperor, Jane! What was that about?"
Sorry, reflex.
That's more than a freaking reflex!
Yeah, I would say that.
Talia will just kind of bite her lip and say, I'm guessing you've run into that before.
You could say something like that, yeah.
Oh, fuck me sideways.
Suddenly a Slaanesh appears. Yes.
Oh my god.
And she'll then look to Ariane and say, and that symbol showed up in the tower.
That symbol was the one that my Inquisitor associated with the cult. And I assume that he has substantial evidence to suggest that, yes, that symbol
and
was
he's looking to
affiliated with the cult.
eradicate them.
Yes.
Well, I don't mean to totally disregard the entire problem with, the artillery and the tower with that other symbol. I'm kind of thinking this might be our new priority because, well...
It's too close for the camp?
Yeah, Haley, why don't you tell us what you know?
Why is everyone calling her Haley?
She's kind of slow on the uptake, isn't she? She'll kind of just point to Alexandra with a backhanded point of the finger.
I've only known her by the name of Jane.
My name is Haley, okay?
This isn't going to turn into another Tyrion thing where she changes her name like every 2 days or something, right?
Speaking of, where is that girl? Oh, that can wait. This takes priority. Sorry, Haley. Please tell us.
Can I give me a quick refresher from it?
Tell the office scrubs and glutes.
Sorry, what was that, Joe?
Can you give me like a quick little refresher, just so I know I'll get everything right?
There is no refresher to give. Your mother told you if you ever see that symbol, you best eradicate the people who are making it because it's the bad ones. They're the worst of the lot.
Just some poor little 12-year-old somewhere just doodling on a chalkboard just happens to make that symbol by mistake.
Yeah, well,
She wouldn't tell you much about them other than there are the 4 ruinous powers, and this 5 dotted symbol is worse than the 4 ruinous powers just for how insidious and destructive it truly is to the Imperium.
oh,
Out of character, Joe, Haley doesn't know.
yeah, basically just, yeah. Seems
I
we
think
got a
Joe
little-
just figured out of character, though, what's going on.
Seems we
I
have.
think I. No, go on.
I'd be more focused on the enemy at our doorstep than the enemy trying to throw explosives at us from a good distance away.
So it seems the puke butts over there aren't the only problem we got now.
Might I make a recommendation? Talia will ask.
Yeah.
We never actually got her name, have we? So she'll just point to Ariana and say, sorry, who are you?
Say that again.
She's asking your name.
My name is Ariane Durand.
All right, Ariane, did your Inquisitor happen to say how many of these cultists he was looking for in that tower?
Did he say?
Yeah, he would have said it would have been a small group, but it's one that he believes he needs to get rid of ASAP, or it can spread and turn into a larger group.
Ariane will say exactly that.
Okay, so what Talia will recommend is that herself and maybe 1 or 2 others go and investigate that tower, while the rest of the squad proceeds with the original plan.
Done.
I would like to go to the tower because I suspect that my Inquisitor is still attempting to solve it if he is alive.
Okay.
So we'll go
Do
to the
consider, though, Scout, that we just brought you into the player group so that you could play with the other people.
Are you saying that the people who go to the tower wouldn't be part of the group?
I'm saying Talia's recommending we split the party. So obviously you guys don't need to do what Talia's suggesting, but what Talia is suggesting is that herself and 1 or 2 other members of this team go over to the tower.
I would have to agree with Lynn on. I have to agree with Lynn on that. We're dealing with.
Say, while I appreciate your concern in wishing to resolve this, I would also like to state that my Inquisitor, and 3 other acolytes attempted to investigate this already, and we were a fully fleshed and competent team, and the other 3 acolytes all died in the ambush. So they are fairly well organized.
And apparently
I would
quite
not.
violent.
I would not recommend going with such a small group.
Then why don't you just give me a platoon of soldiers and I'll go in military style?
If we do that, then they will run to ground and we may never find them.
Then leave no
So-
ground for them to run to.
Someone
What do you
just
propose?
had to quote Firefly.
What exactly do you propose? Do you want to burn the hive to the ground?
If that's what it takes.
Do you actually have that manner of resources?
In fact, we do. We have a ship in orbit. She'll then look to Lynn. Should I not have said that?
Well, I'm going to. This is a bit of a lie. I'm not sure if this is actually the case, but Ariane will say, well, my orders specifically state to minimize civilian casualties. We do not want to draw attention to ourselves, and we do not want to. We were told to slip in and out without leaving an impact.
Well, there's already an impact on this planet.
You're gonna say that?
I say we take care of this new cult first before we take care of that other tower. I'd rather not deal...
Is there a military commander here that can take care of the war while we are preoccupied?
Hell yeah, we'll actually snort and laugh at that.
Yeah, Vern will give it. Yeah, Vern will give out a few dry chuckles at that too. Yeah, no.
No?
We are at the moment trying to reorganize this place because it's a mess.
If it wasn't a mess, then I suppose the Inquisition would not be here for that regard either.
Mm-hmm.
Alone, Lynn? Oh, I guess you are a soldier, and these are soldiers that you would be leading. Oh, I have. I just. Vern and I told you what you're up against. You're not up against soldiers this time. I mean, I've heard that you fought Venos before, which is very impressive. I assure you, I'm very impressed by that. But what you'd be facing up there on that escarpment is not like anything I imagine you've ever seen.
What kind of ship is in orbit?
A Dominator class. I think, was it Dominator class?
It was one of the bigger. It was one of the bigger.
Okay. Yeah, modified Dominator.
Are there soldiers aboard that ship?
More like tanks and weapons of war.
Are there any military officers there that you would trust with holding the fort here while we investigate this cult?
She'll actually look to Vern and Lynn about that one. Talia doesn't know.
Out of character, Mikaisen comes down and says, "Hi, everybody!"
Mikaisen has already deployed. Mikaisen is in the capital city right now.
Vern would say, at this moment, I think most of the people who we would trust on base are already deployed around the planet.
Is there anyone? I don't want a maybe. I want yes or no.
No. There is
no.
none.
I have prior experience in leading men in battle situations.
So we saying Lynn and Alexandra stay on this front, and the rest of us go into that tower?
I'm ready, and Vern will just...
I'd simply rather not split this inquisitorial team.
Just a sec. Vern, do you currently still have all your weapons on you?
Of course. Where would I?
Okay, Ariane, you would have... Sorry, we should have mentioned this to you sooner, Ariane.
I forgot that too. Sorry.
Vern has a missile launcher, an assault cannon, an assortment of shotguns, pistols, various other weapons, a power maul, all of this stacked on top of his rather impressive but rusty-looking carapace armor.
Okay, then.
He's a walking arsenal.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he looks like a miniature version of a space marine.
Pretty much.
And by the way, everybody, just to let you know, out of character, Jess actually has her other character, and if we actually have Lynn stay and command the troops while everybody else goes to the tower, we can switch back to Jess's preferred character.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just gonna argue anyway that even though whether we can focus on this bigger war right now, I'd rather not fight that bigger war. I'd rather be defensive on that while we have enemies at our gates at this moment.
So yeah, we should probably wrap up tonight's game, but shall we agree, both out of character and in character, to leave Lynn on the front here while everybody else ventures forth to the Lister Tower?
Yeah,
Yeah, that works.
Sounds about right.
no problem.
Okay. Kieran, you're still wandering the halls, but you also have your microbead off, right? Yeah, so we're going to have to, in character, explain to her what's going on.
Also, Alex is going to speak up. Also, what's this thing about not normal traitor soldiers?
Alex, let's just say it's best if you stick with us and not help Lynn with the coming battle, just to, safeguard your soul.
By the way, that long and drawn-out sigh was in character from where.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea, Lynn. We should requisition some more of those. Good idea.
Okay. Well, at least I can break out these new toys.
My
Do
new
recall
toys
what
waiting.
Ariane.
That's right.
Do recall what Ariane said. We do have to keep a low profile. We're not trying to broadcast ourselves.
Gonna look at Vern again.
Are we about done?
Hey, Vern's actually really sneaky.
Yeah.
For a walking arsenal, he's incredibly sneaky.
Guys.
Yeah. While I have good agility, I'm not trained in being sneaky at all. So no matter what, I'm not gonna be sneaky.
People, are we about ready to wrap up?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Just before we do wrap up, though, Lynn's calling on the comms. Hey, Deadeye, don't want to burden you, but you mind heading back to base when you get a chance. Deadeye will sigh, say, I'm on my way, ma'am. Was there anything else in character anybody wanted to do before we wrap up?
Not really. Although out of character, I want to say that you don't want to be close to Vern when he burns up or explodes.
And yeah, I was gonna say sorry, Brooke, but yeah, it probably will have to happen in private. And you were saying you were really tired too, so I don't want to keep you up too late. So I do have to admit though, fuck you, Joe, for failing that willpower roll, but also thank you for failing that willpower roll. Because it wasn't my intention actually to divert everyone to the Lister Block Hive Tower. I really did want us to all proceed up to the Nurgle Tower, because I did actually have this big complex story there. But now that I realize where this is heading, it's totally hijacking my original plans. Although it does also mean that if we do want to do Lynn's side of the story in the future, everybody else's temp characters, the various soldiers and whatnot, could come into play.
Sweet.
And you could still live out two totally not separate, but two very different stories that are only tangentially connected with this one campaign, this one mission, because of these two separate towers.
Sweet.
That could work.
So, yes, it's cool, but as far as me being a GM, fuck.
A lot of extra work.
To be honest, I would rather focus on one character. It's a cool idea, but I would rather focus on one character. Because otherwise it'll take twice as long for the story to progress.
That's true. At the very least, we could at least do a shorthand version of the other story, just by saying, you know, these are the rules you made, this is the results that happened, this is what would be revealed. Lord of the Inquisition, the Two Towers, indeed.
I am still just waiting for
Not
someone
try
to
to
drop
crash any
Matthias'
planes,
name
but-
here.
I just see this. We just in the middle of the Lister block area. We cut to back to Lynn. She's just riding on the turret on like the main cannon of a Baneblade, doing a rock solo as they attack the Medusas.
What's this one thing, Lynn?
One thing, Lynn. Sounds like a rock name.
Whoa, that's a pretty impressive gift.
Think of her one thing, Lynn.
Okie doke then. Well, thank you everyone for playing. I hope everybody had fun, and
Yep.
I hope you all liked watching Haley blow a hole through the wall.
Yeah.
I don't care if you. I don't recognize that symbol that you drew at all.
I think technically only 3 players here would be able to recognize that symbol.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm sorry, my mistake. 4 players would. Yeah.
I
Apparently
think I
four
have an
pl-
inkling.
apparently 4 players and 3 Chaos Gods recognize that.
All 4 Chaos Gods should recognize it. The last one is totally inaccurate, but the other 3 are pretty much accurate.
Considering Zeech called him a douchebag,
Yes.
I think that pretty much raises who this is, considering we spoke of this man before. Well, thing God before.
It's not necessarily who you think it is.
No, it's not the Eversor.
In fact, if Nurgle were to say anything about this particular cult, it would just be a lot of laughter. Nurgle thinks it's hilarious.
That just puts me back in a very bad mental space of I don't like it when Nurgle starts laughing.
Well, Nurgle will laugh about just anything, though. Nurgle's a very jovial fella.
Not as jovial as Slanesh.
Slanesh isn't jovial. Slanesh is bucket.
But that just like
Slanesh likes to have all the experiences, all the emotions, all the everything. So Slanesh will laugh while Slanesh cries, while Slanesh cuts its wrists, while Slanesh slaps things. Like Slanesh is just all over the fucking place.